Hi, this is Greg Clark Jr., and I'm currently on the road with Will Smith.
Come on! Y'all feel that? Y'all feel that? Check it out. Here I am in the place where I come let go. Miami, the bass and the sunset low. Every day like a body bar.
The vibe has, again, been easy. I mean, it's very easy to forget who he is in terms of entertainment because he's a very chill guy, you know, very chill, very easy to work with, you know, knows exactly what he wants, but is also very open to different interpretations or different ideas of his own music. So it makes it very easy to work with him, and it makes it fun. It's a little bit of both. It was essentially playing the record because the reality is that Will isn't really used to playing with bands. So he's used to himself and his DJ Jeff. So he's used to the record sounding a specific way. Once you do that, then he's open to interpretations or more clever things or clever ways to get in and out of songs or just adding a little more pop to it for the live sake of things. So it's actually a little bit of both to make the show make sense from the drummer's perspective. Because there are a couple of songs in the show where it's just me and him. So it's like, it's an interesting thing to kind of have that shorthand with him. Because it's essentially, a lot of artists of his caliber, they want the records played the way they are familiar with the records. So doing that plus adding a bit of new nuance makes it an interesting but fun challenge. So it's really fun. But song-wise, I would have to say it's very interesting or fun to play the Men in Black song because that's a specific pattern, and trying to figure out clever ways to get in and out of the music and to attack certain points in the music with keeping the integrity of how everybody knows the song. But I would say that's probably one of the more fun songs to play.
It's not fast enough. Faster, 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 faster. Come on, y'all, faster, faster. Speed it up.
The only setup for this particular gig is that I don't use a ride cymbal, which, you know, I really enjoy ride cymbals. I have a very specific affinity for ride cymbals, or at least my collection of ride cymbals. But this particular gig didn't really call for a ride cymbal at all, so I switched out the ride for an additional like stack or attack cymbal. So that's been a very interesting but fun adjustment. But specifically, I would probably have to say like just injecting a few different type of stack cymbals in the setup so that sonically they all punch in a different kind of way through the music. That's been the most like fun and creative part about changing the setup for this particular tour. So this is a 14-inch A custom EFX crash with a 8-inch A custom splash in the middle, and then a 12-inch FX China trash for a stack. This is a 14-inch FX China trash. This is an 18-inch A custom EFX crash. This is a set of 12-inch SR hi-hats. This is another 14-inch EFX crash with a 10-inch Transformer splash on top. This is a 10-inch A custom EFX splash. A 9-inch K custom hybrid splash. 18-inch K paper thin crash. A 18-inch K custom special dry crash. And then these are a set of 14-inch K sweet hats. Well, Zildjian has a variety of cymbals. I mean, you have personal taste of cymbals, but a lot of the times they have such a variety of things to pick from. It's just a matter of what you like the best and what fits best for the specific gig you're doing. I would say they don't really make stuff that I don't like, but for this gig, I got a little specific on things that I wanted because it can be so high energy, but also it can be very melodic and it can be very dynamic. So just being sensitive and aware of that makes it make sense to pick what cymbals you need to effectively do the job. Fun and unexpected. It's so random, but you know, of course the tech's on this gig and there's a band, but you know, we took a little video one show and I zoomed in on the video while we were playing a song, and the tech behind the bass guitar amp was really dancing very, very, very aggressively. He was just having fun. And that kind of thing makes me smile because, you know, even when you can't see him, if the music feels right and everybody's dancing, and even someone's dancing where you can't see him, it's like, that means you're doing your job well as the drummer. So that was fun. The most valuable lesson I have learned is to be prepared and to be able to adapt at any moment. Sometimes, well, a lot of times, jumping genres to play with different artists, it can really mess with your brain or your sense of awareness. But you have to be aware and understand that, you know, sometimes or a lot of times, certain things you would play on this gig, they don't work on this gig. So you gotta be able to flip the switch so that authentically you will sound like you belong on this gig or you belong on this gig or this gig, and it'll be effective. Like those are the kind of two things. Being able to adapt and being prepared to be able to adapt are kind of the two things that kind of help me do these different genre kind of gigs. But it's fun, like it's really a fun, and essentially it's a muscle you gotta train. You have to train to be able to play different styles. You have to train to be able to adapt. If you're playing gospel and you gotta jump to a rock gig, you don't sound like a gospel drummer playing rock or a gospel drummer playing jazz or a jazz drummer playing folk or whatever the case may be. You sound like that authentic style of music, so it makes perfect sense for the people you're working with.